Good weekend. Ira Epstein with your metals review, and this is your weekend wrap-up, and it's going to be the weekend edition for Friday, the 14th of February, 2020, just after 3 p.m. Central Time. So we've got a market in the stock market that finished itself up, not futures, but the stock market finished up pretty flat. In the metal markets, if we look at it, gold had a nice rally. It's going to settle right around here. It still has about 50 minutes of trading, but I already know where the settlement is because they determined that at 12:30 p.m. Then the market trades to 4 p.m. Central Time. Silver's right in this area. Copper down a little. You realize that what the market is fearful of and everybody's trying to figure out what to do next is because we're going to have 3 days of hearing about the coronavirus before traders get back into the swing of things next Tuesday. Electronic markets will be open in the metal market, so they are open. You don't get that in all of them, though. For the holiday, they have different hours in the soft markets, how they all work. But keep that in the back of your mind. Now, one of the things that I'm watching is I've already seen Apple is saying they're reopening some of their stores in Beijing, certainly not in Wuhan. That is still a city in full lockdown, hasn't changed at all there. But we're going to see, does this start wearing itself off, or does the disease take on a new look to it? That's what people are a bit fearful of this weekend. In the meantime, gold is acting better and better. When we look at the monthly chart, remember, this edition, the weekend edition, we look at one monthly chart and everything else is weekly. The monthly chart is still bullish. It has a pattern of higher lows, higher highs. It does pay attention to Bollinger Bands, these black lines. Only 5% of the time will you stay over the line or under it. Keep that in the back of your mind. You had a breakout of sideways action that went on for a couple of years. This is a fresh breakout in gold. And when you look at the bigger picture, you see it's a fresh breakout on it. So you even had one of these. You had a crossover. You see the 18-month average here in red? It got right up to the green, which is the 100. You got a crossover, and this market's been acting well. It made one new high off it. You're just in a pause here, but it's still, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of support from that crossover and in that area. When we go to a weekly chart of just closes, I left this on to show you the prior close was 1582.90. You're probably just under that by a hair right now, but you've not given up anything. On a closing basis, forget highs and lows, the market's still very much in good shape. You can see how the market is consolidating right through here. It hasn't been able to get up and over what I call missile week. And that was the week that Iran fired the missiles at the U.S. forces in Iraq, and this is that week. So since then, you've been sideways. When we take a look at how the action has been, to get the weekly chart to pick up even more momentum, you had an outside week down last week. This week you have an inside week. If that's taken out, the odds favor the market has caught this group of consolidators and it wants to move itself higher. It's only good through next week. After that, it takes on a different picture because I have a rule that says if you take out the high or low of an outside week, you look to see where the main moving averages are. If there's none above the market, I look to see where the Bollinger Band is because the odds favor the market's going to go there. Well, the main moving average, the 18, the 100, the 200, what are they? By the way, I have day here. This should say week. I just noticed it. I'll fix that. They are basically, when you look at it, all under the market. So it puts into play the Bollinger. And that Bollinger is back up at the 1606 level. Interesting, it's not quite over that high, but that number's likely to climb a little bit when we reopen on Sunday night. And yet the markets will reopen Sunday night, even though they have President Day the next day. You've still got the pattern higher and lows. You've had a corrective mood. Momentum has not turned down. On the weekly charts, we don't look to see if the market gets overbought or oversold. Momentum's either pointing up, down, or sideways. It's still pointing up. The gold-silver ratio still favors gold over silver. You're back up and you haven't been through these highs in a long time. The last high was at 94. Not saying it can't get there. Silver continues to lose to gold. And when we look at a silver chart, look at how different it looks than the gold. You've got a pattern that's lower highs, lower lows. It's not confirmed a downtrend because the bias hasn't closed under this 18-week average. Should it do that, you're putting into play the possibility of the 1645 level. What could turn this up right here? Unfortunately, nothing on this chart pattern. Even if you were to take out this high of last rally of 1837.50, the pattern would be one of a lower low and a higher high. When we had this outside week down, and you can see that right here, over the next 2-week pattern, you didn't take it out. So I don't care if it takes it out now. That idea that you capture the shorts is only good for 2 time frames. Got that? If it's a daily chart, 2 days. If it's a weekly chart, 2 weeks. On the copper, this is an important break low. When we were getting down here over the past 2 weeks, I said, I'm wondering if this is a value area. And that's because you had lows back in September in that area, and you weren't able to really get anywhere going on it. So I think you had this huge vertical decline from the 288 level to 248, a 40-cent break. It's a lot. It's what, 15, 20% of the price, and maybe that was enough. I'm wrong in my thinking if this virus takes on another afterlife. In other words, if it just now starts going through other provinces in China and shuts down more factories. I'm right if the factories get back to work, slow as it might be, and the virus, the rapid pace of it spreading, declines, and people, obviously, the mortality rate doesn't go anywhere. I'm looking for resistance on the rally at 269.50 to 277.80, but you're not in a trend. You had a vertical decline, you can get a vertical rise back too. In the platinum market, I'm looking how the market has got momentum pointing slightly down. You peaked out at the upper Bollinger Band. What are the odds of staying over these black lines? And I realize how bullish people get when you're over them. 5% of the time. So the hardest thing to do is to have the discipline to understand you might not be there. Dollar index, you're up to that upper Bollinger Band. So as bullish as everybody is, I'm the one that's saying, you know, you've been here, done this. I'm certainly not bearish, but I wouldn't be surprised if this market runs into some really hard problems right now in this zone. Notice I don't have the palladium here. That'll be in my morning subscriber videos. What I've done is I've cut back some of the charts that I do here because I want you to support our efforts in putting out these shows by you becoming a subscriber to our morning subscriber videos. Not expensive, $7.95 to try it for 30 days, and after that, you can, a 1-year subscription is $13 a month. Think of a tick in gold, it's $10. Silver, I can go on and on for you. So nothing wrong with doing a little cutback here. 40 charts every morning, Monday through Friday. Not on a holiday, so I'll redo those starting on Tuesday. I start you off at 5:30 in the morning, giving you a touch of the fundamentals, really a lot of technical analysis, and specific, buy here, sell there. That is where I'm real specific on what I want you to do, what I think you should be considering, where you go with that. Maybe, just maybe, it'd be like you sitting next to me and you're looking for some confidence on your own idea and you say, hey, that's not a bad thing. I cover the markets in all these sectors. There'll be a slide bar on our website. So if you want to just see, hey, I just want to get to the metals, just slide the bar, you're instantly right there. You need not listen to the whole tape. And the video is what? It's about 20 minutes long every morning. So there's a lot of effort that goes into it. I think you're going to enjoy the new highlights that we've put on, how we've got everything. We just keep improving what we're doing. You also are entitled, by the way, until I get everything else going, to my SPDR ETF video where I cover the important GLD, the minors, the majors, the juniors, they're all covered there. I'm even covering pot stocks, PotX. I put on in that just recently. How do you get this? Just go to our website, go under research, read about it, you sign up right there, and away you go. We also include our mobile application. So whether you have an Android or an Apple phone, it doesn't matter. Whatever the brand, the operating system, it'll work. That's all included in this. I'm Ira. I will see you all come Tuesday. Have a great Valentine's Day and a great holiday. Take care.